back and forth.
You know what? I'll just set my foot here and relax.
Put your 2 feet up on the rungs of the thing. Yeah, thank you. We can deal with the braid falling in the eye. That adds a little character. But you have got to look this way and be still.
Okay, I can do that.
Should we start over?
No, he did.
3, 2, 1. I wasn't even in the film industry initially when I started. My mindset, I was a musician. And so my mind was focused on music, but I actually love to write. I always would think of creative stories in my head. Me writing and being behind the camera, I knew I could produce and direct what's inside my head. I could bring it to life. And so that's what made me actually get into directing.
Face make it look like, oh man, I was just talking to her.
Yeah.
But in some ways, it was definitely a conscious and intentional decision to become a filmmaker. It started off with a script, knowing back in the day that it would be pretty hard for people to kind of out the box fund my dream. I decided to take the whole filmmaking process in my own hands, learn about it, and produce my own film.
Well, I always was a very creative person. Growing up, I would have little weird creative things in my head. I didn't really want to know. I didn't know what I wanted to do till I liked this girl back in the day. She fried me, so I was like, you know what? I'll make YouTube videos to be famous, and then and that's how that kind of started off. And then after that, it was I just kind of like making videos after. So through her, I discovered my passion through some weird way.
What he was trying to do, he wanted to get it through the curtain,
Right.
and then just as she's walking by.
Filmmaking is all about organization, but you can never organize a film to the T. The creative process for me is basically making sure that the script is solid, making sure that it's felt, making sure that we go through reads of the script, making sure that people understand where you're coming from.
I think it needs to be able to hold the attention of the audience. You have to look through, you have to envision yourself as you watching the movie and you'd see hold on, well, is this movie right? Is this good? And I just think the content needs to be solid first. That's the foundation. You can add all these special effects and everything, but if the content isn't there, it's oh, this was pretty, but that story was dumb. If you have a story, you can do basic stuff. But the visual effects and motion graphics, that just makes it even more appealing. That's like icing on the cake right there.
One thing about film is words have to translate into actions, and then it has to be perceived a particular way by the audience, and that's what's going to make a good film, the way the audience perceives it. And when that perception is intentional, that's when you as a filmmaker can be proud of the things that you do.
No, I don't sound like that when you say that shit, bro. No, it's cause he gonna get pulled over. Being a director can be stressful. You have to have management skills. You gotta know who's doing what, if they're actually focused, if they're motivated. It's a team thing, and since you have to be a leader, you have to provide the energy to your crew. And it can be draining mentally, emotionally, and physically, but in order to get the project and the vision to come together, you gotta have the right team and the right people. You look at somewhere else like this and be like, turn the light off.
Get your eyes real big, you know?
Yeah, turn it off. I'll say the actors, because they're the ones gonna be on the screen. So sometimes, it's oh man, you gotta add some energy, you gotta add some love, you gotta have some add some to it. It's my job to bring that out if they can't see it themselves. As well as, trying to get certain angles from the camera, man. And just overall, going back, is just have to motivate the team, we're gonna get this done, because directing can be frustrating when everyone's everywhere. And it's your job to bring it all together, so.
You gotta have patience in this business when you're being a director, because you're gonna have people, you may set high standards for yourself, but you deal with a lot of people when it comes to a project. So you have to have patience to where you can deal with people, and you can't just always snap, the good directors anyway. And then creativity, you have to be able to bring not only your dream and thought, someone else's to life. So you have to be able to see the vision of a writer, as well as yourself and be able to portray that story in your work.
It's your job to basically facilitate all the things that filmmaking has for them. They look to you to start and finish projects, whether they fail or whether they're successful. So you have a lot of weight on your shoulders in producing films and directing them.
You trying to check yourself out, Emmanuel?
Oh no, what's it looking like on there? How's the shot look anyway?
Most of the time I used to just shoot off hit, and I didn't know really a lot of technical terms. So I just went with what I knew at the time. So basically the most difficult part of it was just getting used to knowing the industry and what it takes to make industry quality projects.
In order to succeed in this craft, you have to have passion. A person that's passionate will go above and beyond the school, above YouTube, about anything to make his shot and vision come true.
You win 10 fights in a row, and then you get to that 11th fight, you probably get hell beat out of you. That's just how film is. You can win so many fights, but then it's always that one that kind of knocks you off your square. And then you got to go back into training, understanding where your audience went, understanding who you're shooting for, understanding what you want to put out there.
If you really, really want it, and if you really want to be badass like the rest of these directors, you got to put in that time and constantly beat on your craft. And if no one believes in you, you got to believe in yourself to make that vision come true.
Make sure this is what you want to do. Make sure this is your passion. You're not just in it just because it's something to do. Because if you're in it just because of that, you're never going to present your best ability and your best work as a director.
Camera, scene 2, set, action.